So let's briefly move on to the next new feature called the dispatching interface. So with this new feature that's been recently added, you can now monitor between 100 and 150 students at the same time while they're taking the exam. Previously, one human proctor could only monitor a maximum of 20 students. Yeah, we recommended 6 to 8, but they could monitor a maximum of 20 during the live review mode. And our development team continuously improves our solutions to meet our customers' needs. So now over to the real Laurent. Thank you for listening so far. Laurent is going to tell us more about the fourth challenge of digital learning for today's session, which is social interaction and collaboration. Over to you, Laurent.
Damien, thank you very much for your time and for introducing me and sharing these initial challenges that we're trying to address. I think what we're trying to do at Constructor is also think about how and using what tool we can basically make hybrid education better, not only better, but potentially, not only better than what it is today, but also better than a face-to-face education process. We think it's a journey. We think it requires a set of tools that you can probably associate with any digital transformations going through different industry and this digital transformation that is required through many different processes and probably understanding things differently from a teaching perspective and learning perspective, basically should enable us to deliver amazing platform and application that will help students to learn better and faculty to teach better, right? So that's a goal we have. And one of the biggest challenge, and I think we all witnesses during the COVID-19 pandemics, is basically how we approach social interaction and collaboration in some hybrid model, which is clearly one of the main challenge for many generation of kids. Of course, for the younger one, very interesting challenge to overcome, but also in higher education, how you can basically effectively encourage social interaction and collaboration with digital solutions in the higher education, and basically how you make this happen, right? It will require intentional design and facilitation. So what we offer is basically an asynchronous collaboration by providing students space that is much more informal and familiar, right? So the user interface, the graphical user interface of the application and the framework of the ecosystem or platform that you provide to the students for collaboration and social interaction is very key, right? So of course you have activities going through virtual study group, virtual breakout room, group project and peer collaboration, online collaborative tools, and just to name a few, 4 out of those 8 or 9 different concepts. Those are, each of them require a separate set of activities and tools that can actually be built together so that you foster collaboration, right? So virtual study groups are, of course, a lot more complicated than when organized face-to-face. But in the end, you could also think that virtual group will become a fantastic way to learn by the way you can actually assemble people much faster virtually than you can actually do it physically. And you could also change the rule of the game on how they collaborate and what kind of tools they use to collaborate together during this virtual study group. That would potentially or could potentially make it even more interesting for students and even more attractive and engaging for students to basically work together. Right, I think in the earlier part of the survey, in the second slide, when Damien actually showed us the result of the survey, most of you mentioned that student engagement was the #1 priority that you had as part of this webinar. And this social interaction and collaboration is basically the glue in between the formal programs, courses, and curriculum that you can find, and basically making it a reality for people and students and faculty to engage with each other peer-to-peer or one-to-many or many-to-many in different collaborative manner, like in virtual study group. I come back to some of them where you can actually break student or organize breakout room differently, but also have group projects where students will actually work together. So I think all this is super important. Those group projects or collaborative assignments are typical aspects of a typical syllabus to get the students to work together. And what we are thinking at Constructor is basically how to facilitate this so that we can create effective project environment and work environment where we will actually provide clear guideline as well as digital collaborative tools that will enable easy interaction and basically better learning and better work done together collectively online and in real time. So that's what we're trying to do. It's an interesting aspect. This fourth challenge is probably the one where we hear the most passion and the most feedback from the faculty in general. Everyone has got his own opinion or her own opinion on how this should work and how hybrid learning can actually become a genuine process and basically using these digital transformation tools that we're building, a fantastic way to teach more students and to educate more students.